Hey everyone, Inkwelder here for some webcam like casual play. I play on the Paper Legacy Discord. I'll put it in the description if you're interested in ever jamming randomly over webcam. No requirements, all free and everything. Anyway, this match is against Naya, and it's these are always like really interesting games because both sides have a lot of interaction, but we have Fury, and that's really good. Yeah, let's look at my opening hand here. The Badlands Welder is great. Pyroblast, sure, I had to mulligan, obviously, but I've got Ancient Tomb. I am testing out Karn the Great Creator, and I've got Painter. So I've got a lot going on with this hand, but I am going to want to run out the Welder right up front because I don't want to Badlands. If it was a mountain, maybe I'll play Mountain Pass, but if they have Wasteland, it's tricky. So we have to get this in progress because I forgot to hit record, and so I ran out the Welder, they ran out of Mom, and I played Ancient Tomb and played Painter. It's a pretty logical, and now I can keep up Pyroblast on anything that they cast, and so I don't care about Noble Hierarch, and so I'm able to untap and jam a Grindstone. And so I could activate. I had next turn I can technically activate, but I won't be able to keep up Pyroblast. But my opponent just decides to scoop it up, so I'm okay. That's fine. I'm going to bring in Pithing Needle and 2 Furies against them. Needle to shut off Thespian Stage and any potential Planeswalkers, and then Fury is just the bee's knees. It's great. One mistake I made is that I boarded out Nile Spellbomb. This I'm still learning. I'm trying out Karn the Great Creator. It's a new addition to get around Humility from the staff decks. And so I pulled out Spellbomb because I can always wish for it with Karn. So, this hand, though, starting with 2 Fury, a Painter, an Engineer, and 2 Mountain. So again, mulliganing to 6. I never mind it. This hand obviously can answer one of their threats. It's a little slower because I don't have a turn 1 play, but that's fine. Considering I mulled to 6, this is a very good hand against Naya Depths that is it's perfectly functional, right? I have one of the key cards in the matchup being Fury. And if I needed, I could name red with Painter because I did board out some blasts. But yeah, able to play Mountain Pass. Which, no problem, they go and fetch a plateau and jam a Thalia. So Thalia, with the hand that I have all creatures in hand. So don't actually mind Thalia. That's A-okay. So I run out the Engineer, and as per usual, right, I'll grab Dragon Engine. Because Dragon Engine can do quite a bit of work, although I don't have an artifact right now to swap it with. It's just generally a good open target for you. Yes, I've got Painter, but they have a lot of interaction, and so I would much rather stress out their interaction and then go for the combo later. They're not going to kill me quickly unless they do have Thespian Stage Dark Depths. And I didn't see that here. And this is, they cast a Outland Liberator, which blows up an artifact whenever, you can pay 1 and blow up an artifact. And so I immediately pitch cast Fury, pitching the Pyroblast, getting rid of their cards, and they can't even activate the Outland Liberator. There's nothing they can do. And I drew an artifact this turn, so I'm able to play City of Traders, or I had Painter in my hand. I'm able to run out the Painter, and now I can really go off. And I also play Pithing Needle. I think I named Minskin Boo. I don't think I was worried about Thespian Stage, just given what lands they had. And I can swap out the Needle for the Dragon Engine, and I'll get to name a different card later. They try to Pyroblast the Painter, and so I just sack it and get Dragon Engine. And now their Pyroblast doesn't resolve, and I discard the Fury that I had which isn't doing anything right now. I would rather not discard it, but that's fine. I don't want to lose the painter for no value. So may as well just draw 3. I've got 4 Furies anyway, so I've still got 2 more in the deck. So they tap 3 and cast Fable, which is fine. Dragon Engine beats that in combat anyway. And I just have the engine, right? Like Engineer Dragon Engine does a ton of work, and I'll be able to swap out Needle and name Reflection of Kiki Jiki. So I swing in for 4 with the Dragon Engine. And right now I just have generally good position in the game. He's not bad off, for sure. Certainly not bad off. So I tap 4 and play Karn the Great Creator. So this is the first time that I'm actually casting it. And I down ticket, and I get Liquid Metal Coating. So my board was in flux here. I could have gotten Lattice also, because I think I have another city in hand. But I got Liquid Metal Coating, and I could run it out, and I could turn off one of their lands in upkeep. But it does mean that I can't protect from a Swords to Plowshares with my Engineer. And so I wanted to keep it up. And I also think I have a Red Blast in hand. And so, yeah, I'm able to sack the Needle, get back Painter Servant, name Blue, and I can block their guy. Which would be good, and they don't have a treasure, so they try to Swords, and I was checking to see what they're trying to Swords to Plowshares, because I'm pretty sure I have a Red Blast, and that's why I wanted to keep up the mana. I felt it was better to Engineer, swap, get in Painter, especially now that I know the Needle isn't going to do anything immediately. And so, yeah, I Pyroblast the Swords, and now, I block the token, so I don't take any damage. Gotta love surprise creatures from the graveyard. And so here they try to run out Seasoned Dungeoneer, but I remind them of Karn. They can't use their treasure. And so, yeah, he just scoops it up. This is just this was a bit lopsided because they just didn't have as much interaction, and I answered their threat. I answered their interaction, and so that's how you win this kind of matchup. So looking at my next game, it's against Rug Delver, who I think we're very favorable against Rug Delver, and even the Rug Delver player is like, oh, Painter, okay, yeah, this is tricky. This is a hard matchup. And it's because we have so much interaction. Their Tarmogoyf can be annoying, though, because it is big, and so it generally runs outside of the range of Fury. And so we need something like Defiler to answer it, or we need a really wide board that we can chump block it a lot. So my opening hand here, I didn't know I was against Rug Delver, so I kept this, which is a good Rug Delver hand, with two Bolts, 2 Saga, Mountain, Fable, and Ancient Tomb, and this is honestly pretty nice because I can run out the Saga or the Mountain first and then go for it. I opt like in the dark. They were on the play, so yeah, I got to see what they were doing. They ran out of Mishra's Bauble, and what they're doing is going to very drastically taint what I do. I showed them a Painter Servant. And they ponder off of a Trop. So this looks like Rug Delver, right? Like, generally, with the Bauble, right? They probably have DRC in there. Why else are you running Bauble in this kind of deck? So I just decide against that kind of deck. Saga is really annoying. So I play Saga and they Wasteland me. They don't have a threat, though. So, okay. I play my other Saga and they waste me again. But again, still no pressure, right? Wasteland, go. That's fine. So now I'm like, all right, fine. I'm not going to give you any more targets. Maybe I could run out Ancient Tomb first, but I'll just run out a Mountain, and they play the Goyf. And the Goyf is now, and this is an interesting point in the game. He's 4/5. So I can play another mountain that I drew, and I could double bolt the Goyf and get rid of it, because the bolt going in the yard will be the first instant. But I decide that there's just no way that that's good, because yes, Goyf is annoying and it's going to hurt me. But if they have days, if they have any sort of interaction, force of will, I'm getting obliterated by removing my interaction for this matchup with Bolt. Because Bolt does answer whether they're on Ledger Shredder or Delver or DRC. So I decided to just run out the Painter Servant, and I'm pretty sure I have another one in my hand, which is why I was like, all right, sure, I'll run it out, whatever. I'm not going to block it. Yeah, the Saga being in the graveyard is very annoying because it's an enchantment. So it just makes Goyfs bigger. So they bolt the Painter. I actually think I have 2 Painters more in hand. So the Painters are not going to stop. So Goyf is now a fat 6/7. All that's missing is Tribal. And I guess now Tarmogoyf can get bigger with battles, right? I bolt their DRC. And I choose to run out yet another Painter because I have another one in my hand. So even if they remove it, fine, they remove it. And I try to Pyroblast their Goyf, and they force it. So I would have been hyper punished if I had double bolted the Goyf. They didn't daze it, they forced it. So I know they don't have daze in hand. But the Goyf sticks around now, and I'm sitting there at 14 life, and they've got a 6/7. So it's a little sketchy. And the big thing to keep in mind is Ancient Tomb is one of my lands, so I'm counting Ancient Tomb activations. So they DRC and bolt my Painter again. So you can see I'm just totally on the back foot here. I have no board position, and everything I've done, they've answered. They've answered my Sagas, they've answered all my Painters. So what should have been a pretty resilient hand to most decks, like they've literally had the answer to every single card I played. So I basically need to untap with something. So I decide to take 2 and run out Fable, because now I can chump block with the Goblin Shaman, and then I've got another Painter in my hand. And so if I draw Grindstone off of this Fable, then I can win right there. I'll have enough mana because I have land in hand. So yeah, I will discard here, Goblin Welder, I think that is, and play Urza Saga, and play another Painter. Painter's gonna have to chump block though, which is now awkward. So like I can chump block with Painter, and then I can make construct tokens for 2 turns, and then I have Kiki, so I can keep it, but he has Bolt, so he had so many bolts. So I bring in Magus. All my Magus, I bring in Furies, they're great. And I have Bridge in my board. I actually cut it from my board recently, but I added it to the board because it's a wish target with Karn, and would obviously stop them if I dropped it pretty well. I dropped 2 Fables, 2 Karns, and 2 Petals. They're going to have Meltdown, and I'm going to drop my high-costed non-creature spells. My opening hand, and I had to mulligan down to 6, but I've got 2 Spirit Guides with Mountain and Magus, and I've got Painter. So, and I'm on the play. So look, when you've got this kind of hand, I don't think it's ever wise to ship it and go to 5. Yes, it's a heavy force of will check, but yeah, I'm gonna try it. So Mountain, double pitch, Magus, and no Force of Will. They've only got 4 Force of Wills in their deck, and they may cut some because we have so many Red Blast effects. So they play a fetch and cast a DRC, and that thing is just never turning on, right? I play a land, my other land, and I play a Painter. And yeah, it's hard for them to get any triggers with DRC, right? They can't cast any reds. They really only have red mana, so they could Meltdown, but Meltdowning for 1 here doesn't do anything. So I swing and I play a Welder, which doesn't do anything now, but it's damage if I need it. So there we go. Meltdown for 2. They blow up the painter. I don't have an artifact in the graveyard, so I couldn't... I mean, Welder's also summoning sick, but yeah, I'll be able to get painter back, so that doesn't even bother me, really. Play another land, which is a mountain. Swing for 3, and that's another Magus. So they untap and scoop it up because they can't answer 2 Maguses. Going to game 3. A 7-card hand. Yay. Yeah, I've got a bunch of lands with Tomb and City and Sokinzan and Mountain, but I've also got Grindstone Engineer and Fable. And this hand is perfectly fine against Rug Delver because I can play around Daze with the Ancient Tomb. So, yeah. And I feel like my opponent actually said on turn 2, like, you have 1 floating, right? Which is sort of like, it's mind games, right? Like total mind games. They play Volcanic and Ponder. They keep and draw. So keep is never what you want to see off a Ponder, but that's fine. So I just run out the Grindstone first, because why not? Not a big deal, and I've got Engineer. So either way, if they want to blow up the Grindstone, that's fine. They cast a Delver, and I'm able to play Ancient Tomb and run out Goblin Engineer, which, if they have Force of Will, they should Force of Will this, 100%. But they don't. And I throw Dragon Engine in there, because that is the best card in the matchup. I've had Delver players scoop to the power of swapping Dragon Engine back and forth 4 times. They're just like, I can't tolerate this anymore. So they bolt my Engineer, which is fine, and they wasteland my Ancient Tomb. So they're definitely trying to disrupt me. It's also possible that they have Force of Will now, because they had the bolt to answer. But they flip Delver to Meltdown, which you also don't really want to see as a painter player. So I play City and run out the Fable, which again, I was banking on them not having. I've just got to do something. I think I have Fury in my hand, maybe. I don't remember what I drew, and I didn't take notes on these casual games with what I drew. But Fable had resolved, which is great, because it's going to stick around. It's hard for them to interact with it. And they melt down for 1, which, okay. You got to get rid of it, especially with me getting my Fable trigger. And I discarded 2 lands here to draw 2, and I'm pretty sure I drew 2 more lands or something. I get a treasure, and pay 3, and yeah, run out Magus. And while they have the basic island, Magus is still going to slow them down. They can only cast like maybe 1 or 2 spells a turn, but they do have a Delver. I'm pretty sure I have a Fury or something. Oh, I think I know what I have. I've got Defiler in my hand. Defiler, also a very good card against them. So I swing, get another treasure. And I have to play a land. The city is turned off now. So, yep, there's Defiler. And they're like, I don't know what that does. And I'm like, Delver goes in the graveyard. So Defiler with Kiki flipped. Oh my god. I don't know that Rug Delver can recover from this. They needed interaction for the Fable and for Defiler, and they didn't have it. And Magus obviously is now preventing them from drawing a bunch of cards and using most of their blue spells. So I copy Defiler and swing for 14. Which, yep, they had Force. I think they must have just drawn it off of their Brainstorm that they just did, because they would have forced the Defiler. And yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching. My dog thanks you for making it this far. And look out for another set of videos. Hopefully, I had a really interesting game against a Dreadnought Brew, which was really fun. So yeah, thanks everyone, and take care. Have a good one. Bye.